well of colored people. My children will think of themselves as Indian and will live as Indians, because so long as their color is not white, English people will not regard them as British.
1997. After 155 years, Britain hands over the rule of Hong Kong to China.
Now, Hong Kong people are to run Hong Kong. That is the promise, and that is the unshakable destiny.
At the stroke of midnight, the Union Jack is lowered for the last time. In the Daily Mail, Alan Massey.
Now it really is the end. A few islands too small and poor to manage on their own may still be colored pink on the world's map. But with the return of Hong Kong to China, the lights of the empire have been extinguished. What then is the legacy?
The 20th century saw the British Empire reach its greatest extent and might. But 2 world wars weakened Britain's power. In just 20 years, most of the empire was handed back to its people. Many of those who served the empire are proud of the legacy they left behind. Diplomat's wife, Joan Alexander, was in Africa for 10 years.
I know the popular image of old colonials is gin-swilling so-and-sos, but it wasn't like that at all. I honestly feel that we were doing something. We felt we were making a contribution to the country. The growing generation should seek out those colonial men and women who have a tale to tell, because whether they liked it or not, they followed the flag and did their duty.
Education, technology, sport, law and democracy, all are positive legacies of empire. Commonwealth countries which once oppressed their indigenous peoples are striving to redress the wrongs of the past. In 1992, Australia's Prime Minister, Paul Keating, acknowledged the suffering of the Aborigines.
We took the traditional lands and smashed the traditional way of life. We brought the diseases and the alcohol. We committed the murders. We took the children from their mothers. We practiced discrimination and exclusion. It was our ignorance and our prejudice.
But the negative legacy of the British Empire still blights the lives of many in the former colonies. In 1947, Britain lost its greatest possession, India. Amitabh Pal.
As their final act before relinquishing colonial control, the British decided to divide India. The result was a human catastrophe. Independent India and Pakistan have to deal with this legacy of partition.
In January 2002, people flee across the border once again, as India and Pakistan fight over the possession of Kashmir. British journalist Peter Preston.
New Delhi and Islamabad are locked in the time warp of half a century ago. only the nuclear warheads in their arsenals are new. Kashmir is the world's most punishingly futile crisis. 50 years on, the mess that we Brits left behind returns to haunt us all.
Years after Rhodesia's independence, Robert Mugabe, in his desire to retain power, is taking back the land in Zimbabwe. He is evicting 95% of white farmers and their black workers. Farmer Kathy Buckle.
My initial reaction was to get out, evacuate the farm. But how do you make the decision to walk out on your life? Your home, everything you've worked for.
As white farms remain untended, severe drought threatens 6 million Zimbabweans with starvation. Mugabe is accused of withholding food aid from opposition supporters. His political opponents continue to suffer imprisonment and torture. Zimbabwe has been suspended from the Commonwealth. The European Union and America have imposed sanctions.
We don't mind having and bearing sanctions banning us from Europe. We are not Europeans. We have not asked for any inch of Europe or any square inch of that territory. So, Blair, keep your England and let me keep my Zimbabwe.
But the legacy of empire is most evident in Britain itself. In 50 years, the face of Britain has been transformed. Britain's multicultural society embraces people, cultures, and religions from all over the former empire. But sometimes this diversity ignites racial tension. In the summer of 2001, violent race riots between whites and Asians flared in Britain's northern towns and cities. In Bradford, Manawar Jan Khan.
The empire has faded from the subcontinent, but within our streets, the white sahibs still make the decisions. We are the new generation of Asian young people, British citizens born and bred, free from the shackles of empire, yearning to be given fair and equal treatment.
Today, white, black, and Asian Britons search for a new national identity within Europe. The prejudices of empire are finally fading. Oxford professor Tapan Rai Chowdhury.
Of course, there are problems when people from very different cultures come to live together. The picture 50 years ago was very different. But the problem today owes more to deprivation than to intolerance and cultural bigotry. In my experience, this is the most tolerant society in the world. I am deeply optimistic about the future of multicultural Britain.